Run! The beast is on its way. From the snowy depths. It comes to find its prey. With its chilling breath, it forms a blade of ice. Then it goes out hunting for something to excise. One wrong step, and it's too late. The beast hears all, returns irate.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today we take a quick look at Goss Harag, which is one of the more interesting monsters to be unleashed, if you will, or announced or introduced, whatever. I just try to make it sound really cool in Monster Hunter Rise. But with something that's becoming a bit more of a usual thing for me, at least, I'm gonna actually have not just myself but someone else talk to you guys about Goss Harag and what makes him Goss Harag. I mean, Goss Harag is a really cool monster, and in my Discord server, please join the Discord server. We love Goss Harag. We love this monster. So I figured, yo, let me get one of my boys at random I chose, and we're just gonna sit up and talk about Goss Harag and take out, yo, what it is about that makes Goss Harag Goss Harag.
Yeah, the thing with Goss Harag, for me, it's multiple things. It's that, what you mentioned, and also, like, how cool this shit looks. For me, is mostly his equipment and the fact that he's just a big-ass dude in a suit that just fucking swings at you. Like, that shit is hilarious to me. I like that a lot.
I feel like with a lot of people, Goss Harag is like, people think of, like, okay, it's weird because like in our circle we think of Goss Harag like a dude in a suit just swinging, literally swinging at you, and it, literally a dude in a suit, like the old kaiju Godzilla movies. But a lot of people refer to him as like a fang beast or something like that, or brute, whatever. Not really, but like, you know, like they actually categorize him as these things. But for whatever reason, because Goss Harag is such a unique monster to look, like visually looking at him, I think that's what really makes him stand out amongst like all these dragons and whatever you want to, I mean, wyverns, dragons, they're all the damn same. But like at first glance, it's like, yo, is that a dude in a suit? You know, like,
yeah.
And it doesn't help that he
so
actively swings at you, like when like his movement is like bipedal, like he walks on both legs, you know. Well,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely want to bring them fire weapons though. Like, even though it works best when he's ice bladed up, fire does a lot of damage to his ice blades. It teaches you to stay aggressive, but it's kind of scary to do with him when he can like two-shot you and he has all this crazy stuff. But yeah, you just gotta stay on him with the fire weapons, basically.
Stay in there with the fire. Like, fire at this point when you're fighting him is, I wouldn't say plentiful, but you have a means to get it, you know. So I mean, it's not like it's super uncommon, but get your fire weapons.
Get you a nice Aknasom longsword or an Aknasom greatsword. The greatsword is bad, but like at that point of the game, it's one of the only weapons you could kind of max out
And
when
get
you
real
fight him.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, where you could get at a pretty decent level, so it should do good enough damage. Like, you should be able to kill him.
And if you need a little bit more, I mean, rock some Aknasom armor. It gives like fire attack, so you can actually get a little more extra fire damage on there if you really want to go heavy on the elemental. So you have to, honestly, you have to brawl with Goss Harag. If you want to beat him, you have to hit him with the thing that can hit you. You know what I mean? His arms will do mad damage to you, but you'll do mad damage to his arms. So it's definitely the fight that looks like it's gonna be one of the ones that really tests your metal as a hunter. I like it.
That's the thing I love with him, though. He's squishy. As a friend of mine put it, she said he's squishy from the front, but from the back, he's hard body, right? So what she meant by that is like, if you look at his hit zones, you can't hit anything. You can't really do anything to him when it comes to like his back or his legs. So if you're trying to hide behind him and just swing at his back all day, you won't do anything, but all his damage comes from his arms and his face. That's like his only good hit zone. It's like, some people would say that's unfortunate, which I personally think it is kind of unfortunate, but I think it encourages you to stay aggressive. You gotta brawl with him, as you said. Like, you gotta get in there. Both y'all in the ring.
What trips me out is like he's a little faster than normal too.
Yes, so that's like the thing with him. You actually need to watch out for that. Most of his attacks, they have the slow startup and all of that, but sometimes he throws you like a curveball. It's like a really quick attack at you, and you react, you're like, oh crap, I didn't expect that to be that fast. Like, why is he doing all of this?
Yo, that's
like,
true. Like, you know,
Yeah.
the shoulder charge he has. Like,
Exactly.
he'll throw that out after like certain attacks. Like, he'll go with a combo where it's like, let's say he iced up both arms, and he'll
Yeah.
swing, and then like he'll shoulder charge. Like, he mixes it up. He'll swing, and leave it, or he'll swing, shoulder charge. It comes out a lot quicker than you think, and the hitbox is actually pretty disjointed, so you can get like vacuum sucked in, kind of like a Plessia. It's a little like Plessia. You can be kind of behind it and still get hit. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, them body check moves, man. You gotta watch out for him. It's mostly that, and also how he jumps over your head when he does, like, as we call it, the gamma wave, where he jumps over your head and slams the ground, sends out the little shock wave.
Oh,
That
yeah,
looks just
yeah,
like
yeah.
gamma wave. Like that can be kind of tricky too, because he crosses you up with that, so to
Yo,
speak.
That's not unblockable, is it?
You can block it.
Okay, cool. So like,
I'll tell you.
you don't
What
really
else?
need like any real guard
No.
investment to block that, but it's still kind of nuts though, yeah.
Yeah, it does kind of hurt if he smacks you with it, or especially if he hits you with his arms directly. Like, that shit hurts a lot if he hits you with the arms directly. But the wave itself, yeah. I've even seen him like follow up with it. Like, the wave, it sends you flying. Sometimes he'll run at you. If he has the ice blades, he'll run at you and swing at you, like try to get you on the wake up. He's pretty grimy with it, man.
Is he slamming the ground down with his arms? Is that what he's doing?
It's like a King Kong type thing. It's literally Hulk smash. Think that.
Oh, okay. So like,
Literally
yeah,
all
so if you get hit with the arms, it's gonna do mad damage. But if you get hit with the
Mad
wave,
damage.
it's two different. So it's two different hitboxes you have to watch out for. So if you're too close, like if you have them pinned against the corner, because I mean that's what they tend to do. Like, even if they're against the corner, they'll do things that they usually want to do when they're in a more advantageous situation. Just because it's AI, they know it'd be a great means to get you off of them. So you'll be in a corner with them. He'll do it, and you might get hit with the wave, or you might get hit with the fist. But if you get hit with the fist, it's gonna be like a huge amount of damage. So you really need to watch out for that.
Though with him, his AI usually uses that when he's trying to, let's say, get out of a situation. Like, because he jumps over your head, if you have him in the corner, he usually he tries to get that to cross you up. Or sometimes
So you're not
better
even
just-
safe. So even if you think
Yeah.
you got him in the corner, it's like, I'm out the corner, just right over. And then if
Comes
you're
right over your
still
head.
focused on the other side, you can get hit with the. Yo, that's actually kind of grimy, because like you wouldn't expect an attack like that to actually have a wave. You know what I mean? And it's much longer range than its ice beam. Its ice beam is puny. It's like the ice beam is like 10 feet. It's crazy.
Funny enough, you could block that too. Like, that's the first beam I can think of you could block easily.
Wait,
Well,
so
maybe.
you can block his. I mean, blocking beams is something that you usually need guard up for. You know what I mean? Because that's
Exactly.
kind of their thing. But with his, because I guess it's so wimpy, you don't need like guard up with it. Yeah.
I don't know if you could call it wimpy. It doesn't go too far, but like, it's a fat ass beam, man. It looks like something out of Dragon Ball Z, like a Kamehameha wave or something. Like, it's pretty fat.
I mean,
But it
so
doesn't go
it may
far.
not be long, but it's fat. Pause.
But it's fat, stocky.
Yo,
Said pause.
Pause. Okay.
It's stocky.
That's crazy. Out of all his attacks, like, what do you think is like the one that smacks the most?
I don't know what you could call that. It looks like the demon dance. It's like a consecutive thing where he swings and he turns around and he swings. That hurts a lot, especially since it has multiple hitboxes, and it usually catches a lot of people because he hits you with the first hit, and then they wire fall and get hit with the second hit, and you're definitely gonna die if that happens. So it's kind of tricky.
So this attack really punishes wirefall.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, it's something that we spammed the entirety of this game because this game is so easy. It's just like, oh no, I'm dying. No, I'm not. Just get up and
Firefall.
go. You
Later,
know?
psych. I'm out of here. Later, stupid.
I mean, it's just like, remember Absolute Evasion from the other
Yeah.
games? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that. You get two of them. Wow. But he punishes it. So like, it's like, okay, you get hit with the first one or one of the combos in there, one of the hits, and then you wirefall to save yourself. But then no, it follows up with another one. You still get hit, and then you're ice blighted. So even if you do recover, let's say if you're not stunned, you're not running fast because you have no stamina. You're ice blighted. Wow, that's kind of nuts.
That's what makes him fun, though, to me.
True. Like, everyone likes a hard-hitting monster, and usually like when it comes to hard hitting monsters, they tend to be like, for some people, super cheap. I mean, look at Magnemol, he hits hard, but like that's a whole fighting game character, you know what I mean? Or like Goss Harag is a bit more tame, but he's also wild at the same time. Like, does that make any sense? Like Magnemol has all this crazy stuff happening, but that's what makes him difficult. That's what allows him to hit hard. All these weird setups. Where Goss Harag is like, bro, yo, big button go burr. You know what I mean?
Big button go burr. Exactly.
So I'm with, I feel that. And usually, not always, but usually with monsters like that, monsters who literally have that big, that big number, their weapons, the weapons and even their armor tend to follow suit. So like, I don't have any Goss Harag armor or any of his gear. But would you say that it also falls in that same category? Like you can pick up some of this stuff and still do big number?
His stuff is like the definition of big number. The definition of I'm gonna get this thing and I'm gonna hit you with it and do big damage for no reason at all. Like looking at his weapons, let's talk about his weapons first. So the most popular is obviously the greatsword, right? That was one of the best greatswords early on in Rise because it just had so much raw and additional ice damage. The only thing holding it back was the sharpness. For the most part, that thing was so incredibly powerful. It had like 230 raw. You know, you got like your attack up L, and even his armor gave Challenger, Agitator, like 3 points to Agitator. So like you stacked it with that, like his stuff is just so good for that.
The only thing holding him back was the sharpness. So what, the sharpness only like green or something like that?
It wasn't green, but it's just not enough blue.
Okay.
I want to say like 10-15 units of blue. Like most people weren't really vibing with that, which I could understand.
Does that correlate to his other weapons? Like does he have like things like longsword, weapons that require multiple hits to get the juice going? Whereas like greatsword, I can understand why you don't need too many units of blue for greatsword because you only swing in a couple of times to do that fat number. But you got like things like sword and shield and whatnot. If you were to try to make the big number, you have to swing a couple of times. Like, does he have like sharpness problems when it comes to those weapons as well?
Yeah, so he has a sword and shield, an insect glaive, and a lance as well. Like those 3 weapons, I think, really rely on sharpness, so it kind of held them back with that. But his hammer and his greatsword, for sure. Like I recommend those. They're pretty good. Decent ice, a lot of raw. They're very strong, and of course, as you'd expect, negative affinity. But you're probably not really gonna care because you're hitting big number anyways.
Does his armor like help him with that at all?
In terms of the affinity, he does have Agitator, and he has crit draw. If you think that's cool, I guess I think crit draw is ass. Excuse me. But Agitator, I'd say, is really good for just buffing the raw. A little bit of affinity, it helps, but you probably just want to go all in on the raw, all in on the damage.
Long story short, Goss Harag equipment. Actually, long story short, Goss Harag himself. I mean, he's an ice monster. Like, there weren't a whole lot of contention for ice monsters in Monster Hunter as it stood. I mean, I think the closest thing to a tier 3 ice monster before him was Barioth, but Barioth himself got nerfed. Now he's a tier 2. So Goss Harag got to kind of fill that spot. And the cool thing about him is that he's not like any other monster that's in this particular category at all, but he still does big number. And if you, much like your boy, is kind of a musclehead, I am. It's true, I'm kind of a musclehead. When it comes to things that got big number, I'm always looking. Like when I play fighting games, I'm looking for the guy who got the fat attack, who with the extra command grab, that kind of thing. Goss Harag is gonna kind of be your guy. I mean, if you want equipment that does the same thing, if you want to do big number, his gear helps you with that. So like his greatsword, if you use greatsword or hammer, like you said, that's gonna look like it's gonna be your 2 main weapons you're gonna kind of use from him. And then his armor has Agitator and crit draw, so it has a means of kind of like circumventing the negative affinity, so that way you can continuously, more reliably do big number.
Exactly.
Yo, Goss Harag, ladies. Alright though. Yo, Box, thanks so much for coming through and helping me talk about Goss Harag. I mean, he's just one of the coolest monsters out there on Rise.
Yeah, man, no problem. Definitely one of my favorite monsters. Probably my favorite new monster, and he's a fanged beast as well. It's like my favorite classification. I think he's dope.
Yo, for me, my favorite is Brew Wyvern, but honestly, he's definitely the best out here, for sure.
Yeah, I respect it.
Yo, well, with that said, everyone, thanks so much for watching. It's been your boy, Dak908, aka The Dig Dug himself, and Box, your boy.
Yes, sir.
Coming through,
Yes,
help me
sir.
talk about this big brutish, yo, thug. Okay, my man is an actual thug. Look at him. All right. Well, with that being said,
Yo.
everyone, you all have a wonderful day. Take care.
All right.